Hi everyone, and welcome to Aspect Astrology's first ever video blog. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and I've finally summoned up the courage to give this a go, given this seems to be what everyone in the astrology world is doing. So here's my version. I'm going to start off today with a bit of an overview about the new moon in Pisces, which is coming up on the 13th of March. So, with a new moon, what we're really doing is starting to look at the cycle of the next 28 days. And it's a beautiful time to set our intentions of what we might want to achieve and what we might want to manifest during that next 28-day period before the next new moon. This year, up until this particular point, has been really frenetic, really buzzing with this sort of high vibrational energy of all of these planets in Aquarius. And of course, we also had the rather inconvenient event of Mercury having been retrograde. But that's all over now. And the moon or the new moon in Pisces, I should say, joining the sun is, I think, going to feel like a literal expression of taking a really deep breath, a breath of release, and a bit of a movement into the quieter feeling realms of Pisces. So Pisces represents all things otherworldly. And, by this, I mean, it's our alternative realities. It's the things that we cannot easily define. It rules our creative instincts, our deep feelings, our intuitive natures, dreams, spiritual connections. It's kind of the music of life and the state of transcendence that we can go into when we're in a purely creative space as well. So, in essence, this is a really very, very chilled out new moon, complemented by the fact that there's not really any major heavy aspects affecting us at this time either. And so, we're going to be more able to access and intuit divine energy if that's something that we actually would like to call upon. It's going to be available to us in abundance during this new moon, and it can certainly help us set our intentions for many Pisces related pursuits. So Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune, which basically dissolves boundaries, especially in regards to our imagination. So consequently, this new moon phase will be an excellent period for opening up, accessing and receiving messages that come to us via our imaginative states. And this can be achieved by consciously choosing to meditate during this new moon, being aware of what our dreams might be actually telling us, or simply just tapping into our feelings and emotions. There's no doubt that this mutable water phase is very much about feelings. However, of course, feelings can be overwhelming. And indeed, this is the very point. The new moon is asking us to access them, to surrender to them, and to manage them in some way. So we might need to acknowledge what we maybe perhaps have not been facing in ourselves. What have we been ignoring? Where have we been, potentially lying to ourselves or, being a little bit delusional? And can we go about setting some intentions of how we might choose to deal with what we find? So we can ask ourselves questions like, how might we be able to reimagine or reframe some of our emotions to better serve us? And what do we need to enable ourselves to function more productively on an emotional level? Do we need to begin a therapeutic process perhaps to help us manage? Whatever it might be, this new moon is all about asking what we can do to help use or transform our emotions for a far more beneficial purpose in our life rather than having them control us. And so, are there creative projects that you'd like to begin? And if so, this is the perfect time to get out that paintbrush, the camera, start writing the poetry that's inside you, or dusting off that musical instrument that you keep meaning to get back to. Setting some realistic goals about our creative projects and getting them going is what this new moon phase is really good for. But it's also really about just simply stopping and relaxing into the new moon. Taking a deep breath, especially if we've been incredibly busy throughout the first part of the year. So, lots of activity and busyness is often a way for us to avoid facing our inner selves. And if we keep really busy, we don't need to listen to the depths of our psyches, which might just be screaming out from a well-deserved break. So, on this new moon, take some time to put your creative intentions into place. Take a deep breath, tap into your emotions, put on some music and allow yourself to go with the flow, to quieten down, and without judgment, set yourself intentions as we move towards the full moon in Libra on the 28th, and that's when I will see you again. Thanks very much.